a volunteer position with a nonprofit, and that really allowed me to get experience in fundraising and just the nonprofit world. So that was just such a big thing in my college life, was really pushing myself to get involved professionally, and that COBA mentorship program was essential to that. And then in 2019, I went back to YouTube and kind of started to do that because I had just graduated. I had left my internship, and it was the first time in my life, well, since college, that I didn't have a job. And it was scary. It was 3 months, but it was a long 3 months. And I felt like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I didn't have a job. So I figured while I'm looking for jobs, I'm going to continue making videos and just learn more about that industry, because, I studied business, but also my emphasis was marketing. So with marketing comes a lot of like online marketing, especially in the world we live in, and especially with the pandemic. So my personal YouTube kind of helped me gain just some more skills. And again, I did not continue with that. I did it for a couple months, and then I found my job, and I kind of stopped doing it slowly. And I don't know, it's just something that I think a lot of people could look at as like another failure or something, but it really, for me, allowed me to have like some type of purpose, or really like continue to feel like I'm working while I wasn't working. So yeah, just remembering that, like, even if you're not working or doing whatever you're like in school, if you want to create your own project or learn more about whatever industry you're interested in, you can always do it in different ways. And for me, that looked like YouTube and blogs and different things. So what I do now, so I got my job here at Tri-City Medical Center. Essentially, I was applying a bunch of different places for marketing positions. And I got offered 2 positions before this job. But I really knew that I wanted to be in a place where I felt like I was giving back, and also where I was going to honestly get compensated what I felt like I could bring to the table. And so one of the first positions that I got offered was like really lowball price, or not price, like salary. And it's not about the money, but definitely just knowing how much, like, what your skills are and where you guys are at in high school. Honestly, anything, like any type of experience is great for you. But once you graduate, especially like college, or you have that degree, it's definitely something that you have to, that has a lot of weight to it. So for me, I knew that I wanted to get compensated for that, and also the experience that I had already had. And then the second job opportunity that I had was I just didn't feel right. It was something about like the culture and just different things that I had heard around. I had asked one of my old college professors about that company, and I kind of heard not so great things about it. And so I decided to pass on that as well. And then Tri-City Medical Center, I had applied there about a month before I ever heard back from them. And I had basically a connection from one of the COBA networking events. I met someone who actually worked at Tri-City Medical Center. And so it really helped me kind of get in. Knowing people and connecting with others is going to be really useful for you to get your foot in the door in somewhere. It's not going to help you get a position necessarily. I think that's definitely up to you in the interview process. But just at this stage in your life, I know in high school, even with like teachers or different programs, I felt like I didn't ask enough questions, or I always felt like if I had asked someone to give me a recommendation or something, that I it was like a burden to them. But truly, like what I learned in that mentorship program was that people really want to help you, and it never hurts to ask. So I would just kind of recommend you guys to just ask a lot of questions. And if you have a teacher that you really look up to or are inspired by, like, feel free to just ask them questions about where they are and how they got there, or just I would say that's something that I really learned from that program, because that's what helped me get my foot in the door at Tri-City Medical Center. And once I kind of learned more about the position, I knew that it was kind of the right fit for me. And I'll tell you kind of what I do now. So as the community engagement and event specialist here at Tri-City Medical Center, essentially what I do is my kind of main task is to partner with different organizations within the community and address like social and unmet health needs, and create programs that ultimately impact those needs and affect those needs in a positive way. So it's a really great thing that I get to do. I get to work with organizations like the Boys and Girls Club, the YMCA, the American Heart Association, and I get to come up with programs or either sponsor existing programs that really help impact the community in a positive way. And with the pandemic, it kind of looked a lot different. It looks a lot different now. It's a lot more virtual. But that's kind of one of my main roles here at Tri-City Medical Center. And now I'm going to kind of go through just a little bit more deeper of what that looks like. So like I said, I work with a bunch of partners. This photo is from the Got Your Back San Diego organization. They essentially do weekend food assistance for elementary students in our community. So we packed up some food and we got it ready for then to deliver these backpacks to students in the area who have food insecurity or don't have as much access to food. So that's just one of our partners and one of the things that we support. Different programs you see here. This is actually one of our nurses. Her name's Bernadette. She's great. She went out to the YMCA recently and did a fun project with them with bacteria and germs and with a black light. And it's just great getting involved in the community and being able to educate the youth and have our staff, represent Tri-City Medical Center. Another aspect that I do in my job is events. So recently, as I was talking about with Mr. Soderback, we had our COVID-19 vaccination clinic. And that was great because we were just able to see the community just being extremely thankful for our presence here and what we were doing and how we were doing it. Am I good on time? Have I been talking forever?
You're still good. You have till 1:40.
Okay, just making sure.
Oh yeah, you're great.
Okay, so and then this is kind of another aspect of my job is that I didn't really. Sorry. So this is another aspect of my job that I really didn't expect working at a hospital and in marketing, but just a good little thing for you guys to know that like you can really do a lot of like different things working for a hospital or in the healthcare industry. Like my job's pretty unconventional, and this aspect, promotional items, was something that I was not expecting that I would be doing as much as I actually do on a daily basis. So basically any of our shirts or hand sanitizers or sweaters, lips, like chapsticks, anything we really need that they want it to be branded, that's what I do. So I work with different vendors to create different designs or pick different pieces of apparel for us to put our logo on or to create a design for either our nurses or like for events like this one. We had a huge event for the Carlsbad Marathon. We used to be the presenting sponsor for it. And so if you can see any of those like hats and shirts and different things, even like the jackets that the executives are wearing, that's all comes through me. So I'll pick the style of the hat based on like comfort and what we're looking for. And then if it needs to be a specific color, this was for our Lucky 13. Their color is like a bright green, as you can tell. So it's kind of a fun aspect of my job that I didn't really think that I would be doing, looking at different thread counts and like this is polyester and this won't be good for our nurses because, you know, they're running a lot or whatever it is. So just a cool aspect. And then the last one is like department specific items. So this is just one of our signs that our behavioral health services sent me that they needed to get repaired. As you can see, I don't know if this is covering it, but it was broken. And so I just created a new design and worked with a vendor to get it redone and have just the correct signage needed there. Another thing I do in my job is social media. So this has been something that has really picked up ever since the pandemic. As I said before, I was doing a lot of working with our programs and partners out in the community. And because of the pandemic, you know, I really had to switch a lot of that to social media, and it helped me to sharpen those skills. So, you know, the silver lining in this all is like, that was cool because I wasn't doing a lot of our social media previously. So now I do our blog posts with our partners, and that's about a once a month thing that I come up. I write a blog regarding our partnership and how it impacts North County. The second one's just creating content that's kind of generic, just having to come up with posts with photos and captions and videos and come up with things that are going to not only inform our community, but engage our community as well. And then the last one is lectures. I have to work with a decent amount of doctors. We have a physician's liaison that deals with like all of our doctors, but because we do different lectures within the community, that's another thing that I have to deal with. So this was one of our last lectures with one of our cardiologists that I got to set up with a local production company, and that'll be uploaded to YouTube soon. So do a lot of different things, but it's all very fun. This is one of my last projects that I worked on. I would say it was one of my most memorable projects because it was one that I really took the lead on. And I felt like my manager and my boss kind of just were like, hey, this is your baby. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take it on. So for our normal employee appreciation, we do like a big event, and it's a week-long thing, and we get to really honor the nurses and any of the staff that work there. But again, because of the pandemic, it looked a lot different. So we decided to do branded apparel because, you know, it's kind of what I do. And it was really cool because we got to do it in a really new way, where we had a website and employees got to choose whatever option they wanted, and it got sent to them. And this was the first time that we had ever done it that way. And it was just great because our employees, I got so much good feedback of just how much they loved it. And for me, it just meant a lot hearing, like walking around in the hospital and seeing everyone with their branded gear on and just being excited. And like a lot of people were just telling me how comfortable it was and how nice it was to have something that, you know, represented where they worked, because especially during this pandemic, I mean, working at our hospital was really something to be proud of, and something that I think they wore with honor. So yeah. So before I do this slide, I just kind of want to touch, I think, a little bit on just, again, how I got into this like position. I don't know if I kind of clarified that enough, but basically, I studied business and marketing. I think that mentorship program really helped me to learn a lot of my skills. I was able to also do some volunteer work with my mentor, and I did some of our biggest events at Cal State. I helped volunteer with those and would coordinate and logistics, and that helped put a lot on my resume. And then just networking with other people. So I would say that if you wanted to get into marketing in a healthcare industry, really the best thing to do would be to first, I mean, they really, really enjoyed, or they really liked the fact that I had my degree in marketing. I think that was a really big aspect of them choosing me. And second, I just really volunteered a lot with events and with marketing. And I think that that definitely also helped me to kind of be given this opportunity to work for Tri-City Medical Center. And then now this is just a couple things to take away that I just like to put because, I'm like cheesy and motivational. And some things that my family has shared and I've learned along the way. The first one is just make good choices now. They'll affect you later in life. Again, this doesn't mean to be a perfectionist and to hold yourself to a perfect standard. We're never going to be perfect, but it's definitely just think about what you're doing and just the different, even the people you hang out with, and where you decide to spend your time on Friday night, or wherever you decide to spend your time, it really is going to affect you later in life. So just try to be wise with those decisions. The second one is don't compare your journey. I really wanted to touch on this one because just with everything nowadays being online, it's really easy to see the good and of everyone else's life and compare, and just, we're always on our phones looking at what other people are doing. And I just think it's really important just to not compare yourself to someone else's journey, because I took 2 years longer than a lot of my friends for school. And I could have easily said, oh gosh, like, and there were times I definitely was like, oh, I should be done and whatever. But, I decided to work a lot through like the whole time during school. And I decided to study abroad and just do other things that changed my journey, but definitely still, I was able to learn from a lot of those different windy roads that I wasn't expecting to take. The third one, like I said, always ask questions. I think that it's really important, especially at your guys' age, to just remember that it's okay to ask questions. Don't be nervous, be bold and courageous, and know that a lot of people, especially when you're young and you're asking for advice or help, a lot of people want to help. So yeah, and then every failure is a learning lesson. Don't look at something like, oh, I suck, or I didn't do that, or whatever. Like, look at it and learn from it. Fifth one is be patient. Even right now, I'm 25 and I want to be running a company or doing this or that. And that's just not where I'm at right now. You can't just make it to varsity. You got to practice. You got to, get on JV and learn, and just be willing to learn and put the time in. So you might not be exactly where you want, but be patient and just be willing to do the work. And then the last one is give back. However that looks, whether that is, helping a friend, a neighbor, or getting involved in an organization where you're volunteering, whatever it looks like, just remember to give back. Super important and just very, very crucial for even like our well-being, our mental health, just to take the time to serve someone else and not think about ourselves so much. So that's my contact. If you guys want to email me or have any questions or whatever it is, you can email me there.
I have one quick question, which is, if I were in high school right now and I wanted to get into marketing and things like that, what are some things I should be studying, or what are some things I should be getting some experience with to help me get there?
So great question. I think the first thing is if you guys have a marketing society, or if you have any programs or after school activities that involve like a marketing society, I would say get involved there. If not, again, volunteering, especially at your guys' age, is so crucial just to get experience. Give your time. And whether that's like, let's say you want to get into marketing, ask someone that you know who's in marketing, hey, can I just come with you and shadow you a day at work and just see what they're doing? Or, hey, I know that you're in events. Do you need any help with anything? And like, we can, like, there's so much you can learn. And even if it's just like putting things in a bag or whatever it is, you'll probably learn something and they'll remember you. Another thing is like YouTube is seriously one of the biggest places you can actually learn things from, not just watch videos of whatever you do. You can learn so much. So look up like marketing videos or look into different tools that the internet offers.
Any other questions from our group of instructors and students today? Mr. Zendejas, Ms. Marks, any of the students, any more questions before we go? Because we're going to run out of time here, unfortunately.
I know, sorry, I talked a lot.
No, it was all great stuff. No, it's all terrific.
Just a comment. Just a quick comment. I just want to say I really appreciate you talking about the whole idea of failing and like accepting failure, and failure is okay. We talk about that a lot in our class too. Like our students think like, oh no, we're not allowed to fail at anything. We have to be perfect. But you learn so much through those failures. So embrace them rather than be trying to avoid them. So I'm really glad that you brought that up. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I think that's all the time we have today. Christina, thanks you so much for coming in and talking to our students today about an aspect of healthcare that maybe they weren't even aware of. And we're looking forward to talking to some of the other members of Tri-City as well. And hopefully next year, I mean, maybe we'll be live by then, but I definitely will be in contact with you about coordinating some more partnerships with Tri-City.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.
Thank you
very much.
Bye.
All right, take care.